Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor to be joined by the award-winning author with the book, The Last Lumenian. Ladies and gentlemen, S.G. Blaise, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Antoine, for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Awesome, thank you. So, just give me a kind of a brief synopsis of The Last Lumenian.
The Last Lumenian is Star Wars meets Lord of the Rings meets Princess Bride.
Okay.
It's PG-13, clean language, kissing only, no chili peppers here.
I love it.
I like to be very transparent about it.
Okay.
It follows a 19-year-old rebel princess who must defeat the Dark God before he finds her, the Last Lumenian.
Okay, and what is a Lumenian?
Lumenian is the name of a race.
Okay.
And she's the last of her kind, and there is a twist around it because she doesn't look like the others. Her mom and her, something happened, a mystery that you get to uncover, so no spoilers here, as you read the book series to see why are they different. And I can't wait to hear how you like it.
Oh man, I'm looking forward to it. As I was kind of doing some research and kind of looking up and getting into the story, I could tell you focus a lot on world building. Now, as a reader myself, I absolutely love when I know that the author and the writers take their time to build out a world that you can kind of get lost in. What is your approach when it comes to world building?
My approach to world building, Antoine, is that I spend at least a couple months on diving into what does the world look like?
Gotcha.
How come they have this history? What is their daily life? How do they approach politics, religion? How do they dress? Do they have a special greeting? Anything and everything I can find details about that helps me to create a rich and immersive world that I hope you get lost into and want to go back to more and more.
Do you find that you take any inspiration from like your life and implement that into the book?
I definitely take a lot of inspiration from my life.
Okay.
I was born in Hungary, and during the second half of Soviet oppression, that's my childhood, Hollywood movies were largely forbidden.
Okay.
But my dad rebelled against it.
I got you.
And he smuggled them in, not for profit, but to translate it to Hungarian.
Okay.
And then he would use the headphones and a microphone and would dub these movies.
Wow.
So we could have secret movie nights. And that's how I got introduced to sci-fi and fantasy, and that magical feeling of excitement when you're transported away from the real life, and my imagination was just blown wide open.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Thank you.
That's an amazing story. Man, that is one of those things where it's like, you never know when an artist, like, why they do what they do. What inspires them, what got them going into this and everything like that. Now, when it comes to kind of the character, so your main character is named Leela,
Correct.
right? Got you. So she has a lot going on when it comes to identity and destiny and all that kind of stuff. And in your story, you deal with the ideas of destiny. How do you balance destiny and free will and all those kind of things and the way those mesh together?
Antoine, that's a great question. I definitely love the idea of destiny and what does that mean to the character? Is she gonna accept it? Is she gonna fight it? What happens if she fights it and she sees the consequences of her choices? And in book one, you and the readers get to see just that consequences of how difficult that is to balance of wanting to figure out who you are, where you belong in the 7 galaxies, while everyone is telling you this is your destiny, this is what you have to do.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting conundrum.
That's awesome. Man, I'm excited to get into the story.
Thank you.
Now, how many books are there in the whole series?
There are going to be 13 books in the series.
Why did we land on 13?
Oh, there is a secret to it. The way
13 is usually the unlucky number.
Well, we're gonna change that. We're gonna make it very lucky, especially for you and the readers.
Okay.
Because the goal is to create trilogies.
Okay.
So my first 3 books is part 1, and I have Get the Army, the fellowship of my main hero, Lila.
Okay.
And then the second trilogy is New Powers. So you get to see these characters learn who they are, find something interesting, find something new about themselves, and then I go next and the next. I can't tell you more because it's super spoiler.
I got you. Okay.
But that's how it's structured.
I got
and
you.
book 5 is coming out this December.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. Like, when are we expecting that next book? You said in December.
Correct.
Okay, so I should expect it under my Christmas tree.
Absolutely. With a little bow on it.
Exactly.
Hopefully purple, because I love purple.
as we could tell.
I'm hiding it well, right?
Exactly. I love your display that you got going on out here. How did you guys manage to kind of build this thing out? Who spearheaded that idea?
I have a big shout out to XLE, who did this amazing booth design.
Okay.
And this is based on book 5 setting.
Okay.
And we have a little teaser on the monitors about what that world looks like, with new characters who are gonna join the series, and also new book characters that you get to meet. A new world. We're visiting the 7th galaxy.
Okay.
And I just love to explore this world with a lot of mysteries, lot of layers to dig through. I hope you and your readers and our readers gonna enjoy it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So when you said in the beginning that it was inspired by Lord of the Rings and Star Wars and The Princess Bride.
Of course.
When you have those inspirations, those are all different stories and IPs that people love.
Right.
How do you take those ideas and create a unique experience for your readers?
Antoine, the way I took Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, and Princess Bride is that I looked at what inspires me when I looked at these stories. When I look at Star Wars, it's that spaceship, you know, the intergalactic travel, the huge, wide world building that you get to discover unbelievable characters.
Right.
So I was inspired by that. Then I looked at Lord of the Rings. I loved magic. I loved the supernatural creatures. So I put a twist on that you get to see in the books. And then finally Princess Bride, where you have that quirky characters, found family, you have humor, and kissing only romance. And I took all of these and I put them into my book, because those are my favorite, and I hope readers will find fun and enjoyment in my stories.
Okay, last thing I want to go over with you is I want to know the big picture. So you got 13 books. Obviously, a lot of people, they love the idea of seeing their ideas on the big screen. Do you feel like that's one of those things that you would like to see, being inspired by such iconic
Absolutely.
IP? Yeah,
Absolutely, Antoine. I'm building so much content and a franchise where we're gonna have comic books, which I already have one. It came out, Mythical Hunters. Came out this July.
Nice.
It's gonna be 176 issues. I hope I live long enough to finish it.
Oh man, of course.
And that's origin story a couple hundred years or maybe 1,000 years before book 6 and book 3 characters. I'm also looking into tabletop RPG. I'm looking into video games, pitching it as TV show and movies.
Nice.
The space is the limit. We're beyond the sky.
I love it. I love it. Be iconic, be limitless, and it can go as far as you have it to go.
Exactly.
I love it. Thank you so much for joining me. Do you have a website that people can go check out? What is your website?
Well, thank you for having me, Antoine. My website is sgblaise.com. We have interactive maps, we have characters, we have upcoming news, videos, anything and everything that you'd like to know about the world and about me, the author.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm looking forward to getting into it. I'm gonna grab me one of those books. I absolutely love it, and I'm just excited for everything that you got going on.
Thank you so much, Antoine.
No problem. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been awesome. Los Angeles Comic Con is turning out to be such a treat, and I'm super excited for everything that we have going on. Y'all take care and stay tuned.